Test, test, test. Volume good?
Yep, you guys are on.
We are on. Hey guys, it's Tom from Resale America. My YouTube channel is Liquidation Motivation. 53% of people that watch my videos don't subscribe, so please like and subscribe down below. I'm here with my main man, Tobe. He doesn't have school today, 14 years old. So, we're gonna just try to give you whatever information we can. If you have any questions or comments, put it in the comment section here on YouTube. We want to talk about, our channel's all about buying and selling on eBay, Amazon, buying pallets, truckloads. We do a lot with bin stores, liquidation, consignment stores, those kind of, we own the world's largest liquidation store, and building wealth. We like questions about any of those topics. One thing I do got to say is, say hi, Tobe.
Hello.
Is your microphone working? Amazon is a great tool to sell stuff on. We are currently kicked off Amazon. And I talk about this a lot in my videos that, we buy Amazon truckloads. Within those truckloads are merchandise that are, that aren't any good or might be counterfeit or pulled off Amazon shelves, but they sell that to the public. I take that merchandise, look it up on Amazon, relist it on Amazon, and then they get mad at me because I'm selling counterfeit merchandise on Amazon, which is not my intention. So after a bunch of complaints, they finally booted me off. I mean, it just didn't happen in a day. It's like I'd get a complaint, and I'd kind of ignore it, or I'd stop selling that product. Then you get it a month later, you get another complaint. So when I think I got up to like 9 complaints, and then they finally kicked me off for life. So what I did is I've hired a lawyer to try to fight that, because this has happened before, and lawyers can normally get you back on Amazon. We filed about 5 or 6 rebuttals to their issues with me, and it didn't work. So this is about 3 or 4 months ago. Amazon just never came around, just never stopped responding to my lawyer's actions. And so I think what I'm going to do is hire another lawyer and try to get it going again, because after a while those complaints drop off your list. So I'm hoping that when they reevaluate it, there's not going to be as many complaints on my list in Amazon whenever you go into the metrics there. So because I made a lot of money selling on Amazon, I make a ton of money selling on Amazon. What I liked about being a truckload buyer is that sometimes you get a product that just sells, you can sell a ton of it on Amazon, maybe like a supplement. One time we got a whole pallet of supplements. We put them on Amazon and we sold like 600 in one day, and they were $20 a bottle. That was in one day. They were gummies, right? They were gummies. So Amazon got rid of them because during the summertime, they don't want gummies in their warehouse, right? Things that can melt, they don't want them in their warehouse. And so Amazon sold them in a truckload. I bought the truckload, brought them to my warehouse where I had air conditioning, and resold them on Amazon. Now they only let me sell them for like 4 days, and then they actually told me I couldn't sell them anymore. But you find stuff like that all the time. You might get 20 of one item or 30 of another item, and you put them on Amazon, and boom, you can sell them. You sell them fast. Another thing I love to do on Amazon is when you're buying these truckloads, you might get something new in the box that's damaged. So it might be like, let's say, a Ring doorbell that's selling for $200 on Amazon. It's new in the box, but it's damaged. So you can sell it on Amazon used like new, right? So maybe the Ring doorbell is $200, and then you list it for $170, $30 cheaper than the top guy, used like new. It sells every time. Where on eBay, you could probably only get about $80, maybe half a retail on that. On Amazon, you can get 80 to 90% of retail. So that's why I love Amazon. And that's why I'm kind of upset that I'm not on Amazon. I've done the Amazon journey. I private labeled on Amazon before. I had a tape company on Amazon that I sold to my partner. But it's a great way to make money. When you first start out on Amazon, you're locked out of a whole bunch of categories. So you can't sell in a bunch of categories, and then you slowly apply, and you have to show receipts and everything. My account was ungated in everything except DVDs, so it was a great account. But now it's booted off, so I might have to start all over again. Maybe I'll put an account in Toby's name. I don't know. Who knows what?
You can have it.
I can have it. All right. So listen, if you have any questions, put it down here in the comments section. Bin stores, my favorite thing, the easiest kind of store to sell. Here's Carl. Hello, Tom. Thank you for your content. Thank you, Kara. We appreciate you watching. We're just trying to grow this live. We're going to try to do it daily. We will be in Vegas next week, so we can't really. Stan and I are going to still try to do it live from our hotel rooms in Vegas. Let's see. So we're going to go to Vegas. We want to talk to some of the bigger players in the industry, the truckload sellers, and I think So I have the group on Facebook called Bin Store Co-op, and that's for really bin store owners, anybody that buys truckloads, merchandise like that. I'm going to try to negotiate with some of the big guys a flat rate, a flat fee, a cheap rate, a discounted rate to our group. And that way they don't have to go everywhere. They don't have to deal with 1,000 brokers. They don't have to deal with 1,000 buyers. And hopefully we can get some buying power and lock down some contracts. That's the whole reason why we started the group Bin Store Co-op on Facebook. So hopefully I get to talk. Now I've talked to a lot of these big guys already on the phone, but when you get face to face with them, everything changes. Is there a bin store in Central Florida? Yes, there is. Winter Haven, Florida. That's the one I own. But there's a lot of other bin stores around. I know there's one in Ruskin, Florida, Fort Myers, Florida. I know there's some over in Jacksonville, some in Palm Harbor. There's lots of bin stores out there. I don't know if you can go to Google and find them, but certainly on Facebook, you can look them up. Everybody normally has a Facebook page who does the bin stores because that's where we do most of our advertising is on Facebook because it's free, right? Because it's free. Why wouldn't you use Facebook every day to advertise 5 times a day? I don't give a crap if you do it 100 times a day. Forget those people who say you're oversaturating your advertising. Screw that. I believe that it's an opportunist time where when I'm on my phone and I see you go live and I click on that live, I'm going to watch you. But if I'm not on my phone, I'm not going to watch you. So if you're doing it all day long, let's say you do a 5-minute live or a 3-minute live every hour on the hour, you're going to hit more people than if you do one a day. You're going to hit more people. That's just the way it works. So do it all the time. Hi, Diana.
Hi.
We're on live, Diana. We're on live. We got a comment.
Carrie again.
Have you had luck at ASD in the past obtaining accounts? So I've only been to one ASD. You got something to say to me?
Oh, I wanted you to see this cool thing we have out here. I got in last night.
Yeah, we just got in. I think what you're going to tell me about
table?
is a smart coffee table.
An end table.
An end table. I've never heard of a smart coffee table before.
Okay, so it's got the coffee table's got a big refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
The end table's got a small one. The coffee table lights up. It has speakers in it, so you can Bluetooth on it. It's a charger, like of several different kinds. It's like when I went on eBay, brand new 3 days ago, it sold for $1,990.
Wow, $1,900 for a coffee table. Somebody, whoever bought that's got some real bang, man.
He lives in Windermere.
Windermere, that's the wealthy part of Lakeland. Yeah.
No, it's its own town.
Oh.
In Florida.
In Florida.
Somewhere here, but when I took his license, I thought he'd been a housing area. But when I took his license, it says Windermere, Florida.
Okay. So we got in a smart coffee table last night with an ice maker in it, refrigerator, wireless charger, Bluetooth speakers built right in it. Really cool.
Yeah.
I walked in this morning and I looked at it. I'm like, what is that? What is that? So we're selling the coffee table for $650 on consignment. So we took it on consignment from the gentleman, and how we do consignment is we give them 60% of what it sells for, and we keep 40% of what it sells for.
Well, Ian swore up and down, told him you were going to buy it.
Toby said we had to take it home because we're building a man cave at home because my daughter moved in with her boyfriend.
Well, he tried talking about it, and they said his wife won't let him have it. But he's got 2 people already that are interested.
Nice. Sell it.
Put it aside.
Sell it. All right. Kara said, have you had any luck at ASD? And so I went to ASD. They had a show 6 months ago in Orlando. So I went to it and I didn't care for it. But it was during the hot time for the 19 and it was filled with like vape and smoke shop paraphernalia. That was it. I think there might've been 2 or 3 wholesale vendors. So I'm pretty optimistic that Vegas will have more of the vendors. I mean, I did go through the list. If you can go to the website and click on people in the liquidation business, and there's a list of hundreds of vendors that are going to be there in Vegas. So that's one reason. The second reason is I never miss an opportunity to go to Vegas, right? I got to tell my wife, honey, I'm going to Vegas. I really don't want to go, but I have to go to the trade show, So Stan and I are packing our bags. We're going to Vegas for 3 days. We are getting there late Sunday night. I know there's a meetup on Sunday evening. We're going to miss that, but if anybody wants to get together, we're going to be there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We are shooting some videos for other YouTube channels, but we're gonna be putting some full-time work in. This looks like QVC. Sell me something. Hey, how about my Bitcoin bull? You want to buy a Bitcoin bull? No, we're not selling anything here. We're just offering free advice. We're trying to build relationships with everybody. I met a lot of people through my YouTube channel and through our Bin Store Facebook group where I learned so much valuable information from that I never would have got if I didn't start this channel. I have more people dealing with me, vending with me, partnering up with me that if I didn't start this channel, if I didn't start the network and Bin Store. There's so much good information on the Facebook group, Bin Store Co-op. Brokers need to stop putting their loads up there. I try to delete them. I know somebody got upset with me that I wasn't deleting them fast enough. That might have been true, but I was on vacation when I came back. I deleted them. But now, if somebody, if a broker puts a load on our Bin Store Co-op group, I delete it, and then if they put it on again, I delete it and warn them. And if they put it on again, I kick them out of the group. So they can only do it a couple times before I do boot them out of the group. And then it's just going to be pure informational. And then, but I do want to let the certain brokers in that are the true contract holders. That would make sense in the group, and when one of them is like Excess Limited, I would think it would make sense that we let them, put the deals in the group because they're the true contract holders. Did you see the post I put in Bin Store Co-op the other day? That was that the broker, so Excess Limited put an offer out on a truckload for $40,000 for electronics, which was an incredible deal. I should have bought it. I didn't buy it. I don't know if it's still available. Incredible deal. $40,000. It was $400,000 of the merchandise. 10% of retail. That is the sweet spot. And then you look at it. It's filled with phones and iPads and all the stuff that Toby would want to see, right? All the great electronics. It wasn't one of those loads where you see like 2 iPads and then a million phone cases. It wasn't that load. It was a great load. And then another broker relisted the load for $46,000. Mark the goddamn thing, excuse my language, mark the damn thing up $6,000. $6,000. That's ridiculous in my opinion. That's absurd. And that's why you need to be educated on who owns these loads. Who owns these loads? There's a guy that's been in the business for a long, long time who has a Bin Store up north. And he tells anytime that I have a question on where these loads come from, I just send him a message. He says, "Oh, that Inmar owns that." Registrix, Registrix, I think owns a lot of the Home Depot loads. If you can get in with them, but remember, they don't really want to deal with somebody who buys 1 load every 2 weeks or 1 load a month. They want to deal with people who buy 5 loads a month. So if you don't have that kind of volume, you're going to have to go through a broker. One of the brokers that I use is Midtown Liquidators. They do really well. Mike Sims over there. So. That's what I recommend for bin stores. But yeah, Vegas. I'm going to go to Vegas, try to talk to some people, have a good time. We're going to ride the helicopter around Vegas, do the stratosphere, the Ferris wheel, all that kind of stuff. I'm just excited. I love Vegas. It's just a crazy town, and that's. You
going to Caesar's Palace?
I'll go to Caesar's Palace. Yeah, it's going to be.
Can you afford it?
Can I afford? No, I'm not staying at Caesar's Palace. I'm staying at the hotel connected to the convention center. So we don't have to go anywhere for the convention center. But that is a little ways from the Strip. But I think it's right on the monorail. They have a monorail that'll take you right downtown. And then I like to go to Old Vegas too. Old Vegas is cheaper. I'm a flipping kind of guy. I love buying and selling stuff. I got that like cheapness. I like to spend money, but I don't like to spend a lot of money on. I don't want to spend $500 on a steak, right? I want to spend $50 on it, or go to those buffets that are $20 all you can eat with lobster and everything. Vegas is cool.
Daniel.
Hey, I'm down in Ohio and have regular access to seasonal summer items all year round, which is great in the summer. Any advice in moving these items when it gets cold? 100%, Daniel, 100%. The way to move those items is the guys like me, the guys in Florida. Remember, Florida never gets cold. So Orlando South never freezes. It never freezes. So when I'm from upstate New York, so I know what it's like to be cold. Summer items don't sell in the wintertime in New York, anywhere in the north. But down south, you know, and Florida's kind of a unique state. Maybe California's a unique state. Texas gets cold. Arizona might be a unique state where we don't get cold. You know, our coldest day in the wintertime might be what, like 55 degrees, and that's
In
the
Florida?
cold. In Florida, people wear when it's like 70 in Florida. Real Floridians wear winter coats down here. You know, I'm from New York, so I'm like, what's wrong with these people? It's crazy. But yeah, we're the eternal spring down here. We have a hot summer, don't get me wrong. It's hotter than hell in the summertime. But, you know, in wintertime, it's normally 70, 75 degrees. So, and then all the snowbirds come down. So we can sell summer stuff year round. Summer stuff doesn't bother us. And it also gives us, what I like about Florida too, is we can buy winter stuff in Florida for cheap, because nobody wants the fur coat, the big coats and stuff like that. So I go to a thrift store. So the snowbirds come to Florida. They donate their winter jackets to the thrift stores. I go in a thrift store, find a winter jacket marked at $3 that's worth $100, right? I love selling winter jackets in Florida because nobody else buys them because it's too damn hot down here.
Daniel replied with, haha, okay, I'll hit you
You
up.
definitely send any deals you want toward me, but I'm not on here to hog deals. I would think that in like there's a lot of people in Miami, the Miami area, the Orlando area, you know, definitely Miami. There's so many millions and millions of people down there and dealers down there that will buy these loads. How would I market them? I mean, I would market them maybe probably Bin Store Co-op. You could put it in that group. You know, there's probably liquidation truckloads. I'd put it in that group because that liquidation truckload, I'm not sure if Midtown runs that group. I thought it was. They have like 20,000 people in that group, which is good. You know, I think that if you put it in there, it seems like whoever puts a deal in there, if it's a good deal, they'll buy it. I don't mind if you run it by me first, though, so that would be good. But I hate shipping from your area. I hate shipping from Ohio. It's ridiculous right now. I bought a truckload of electronics that I'm not really allowed to talk about. If you watch one of my old videos, you'll see it in there. And you know, it was I think it was $4,600 to ship it. So shipping is just outrageous. I don't know when shipping is going to get better. Before the 19, shipping was pretty reasonable. I buy a lot of stuff out of Atlanta. It cost me $1,200 to ship. Now it's $2,400, double the price. So I'm looking. That's why I focus on my local area to buy stuff. I don't buy much stuff out of state unless it's a high value. You know, you like that $40,000 truckload. That's not too bad to buy. You know, it would have been like $3,500 for shipping, so $43,500 versus a $400,000, you know, value. That's not too bad. I don't mind that. You know, but when you're buying, like, you can't buy a Lowe's truckload, right? Because now you have a $20,000 truckload that they're selling for $3,000, or I think the price on the cheap Lowe's truckloads now are $3,500. I saw $3,400 the other day is the cheapest. If anybody's seen them cheaper, let me know. But my shipping's $2,500. So now I'm buying a $20,000 truckload for $35 plus $25. So that's $6,000. That math doesn't make sense. So I'm not buying the cheap Lowe's truckloads right now. I can't afford them. You know, either the price needs to come down or the shipping needs to come down before I start buying them again. And, you know, because it hurts you whenever you know, because, you know, 1 out of 4 Lowe's cheap truckloads come in crap. I mean, like all crap. And so when that happens, you're out $6,000. And so I don't want to be out $6,000. I don't mind, you know, if my cost basis was $4,000, I got 3 good truckloads, 1 bad truckload. That's fine when you include shipping. That's fine. But, you know, once shipping gets fixed, we can buy a lot more from far away. Aren't you supposed to be working now? Day off, boss taking advantage. What's good? I am at the store. It's 11:22. I did get here right before 11. You know, I do take my time.
10:50.
I do take my time coming in on the weekends because I got my kids. I always have my kids, but they don't have school. So during the week, I have to get up at 6 o'clock. I get him out of bed at 6:30. We have to be to school by 7:30. So then it gets me here to work about 8:15. I'm 45 minutes away from work, so I put a lot of miles on my car. On the weekends, I take my time coming in. I'm always here before about 11 o'clock, maybe 11:30. But I'll work all day. I work 7 days a week, unless my wife says, "Hey, we got to go to the beach" or something like that. I work 7 days a week, and I don't mind. I'll take 1 or 2 days off a month. You know, there's times where I'll go 3 or 4 months without a day off. It doesn't bother me because, you know, I'm in this for the long game. I'm in this to build my wealth. I'm in this to build my business. I'm in this to make sure that his future is going to be as bright as it can ever be, you know. And
You're putting too much miles on my car.
yeah, but putting too many miles in this car. I just bought him a car, but he doesn't get it for another year. So he doesn't like how many miles I'm putting on it.
He bought it 2 weeks ago. Or already has 1,800 miles on it.
That's right. That's right. All right. What else we got here? So, all right. So, you know, home runs. Let's talk about home runs for a minute. So this business is all about the constant buying and looking for the home runs. And a lot of times you're going to hit these home runs by accident. That's why I like buying like unmanifested truckloads or unmanifested pallets where you really don't know what's in it. My favorite one was I bought pallets of hair dryers, and there were some brown boxes on the bottom. I didn't know what they were. I just assumed they were hair dryers, but they were different than the hair dryer boxes. When I bought the 7 pallets of hair dryers, I took them back to my warehouse, and what those were the lightning cables to hook your iPhone to the TV. So lightning to HDMI, and they're Apple branded. So there was 1,000 of them on that level because they're just little boxes. There's 1,000 of them. I put them on eBay for $30 a piece, and within a week we sold them all. So $30,000 in 1 week off something that I bought hair dryers on. So you constantly look for those home runs. The medicine I talked about earlier was a home run. You know, when I sold thousands of bottles in just a couple days. One time I bought a pallet of projectors. I put it on Amazon, and I sold about 30 in 1 day, and they were $200 a piece. You know, that's one of the reasons I got kicked off was those projectors. But you know, I get greedy. You know, the money starts coming in, and I'm like, I'm not going to take that off. I'm making too much money on it, and that's stupid. That's stupid. The minute you get a complaint from Amazon or from somebody that owns the brand, take it off. Take it off. It's just crazy. It's not worth it. It wasn't worth it for me to make that money, but now not be on Amazon. But you're always looking for those home runs. You will find those home runs all the time. You'll accidentally find those home runs, and don't be afraid of broken stuff. Don't be afraid of of stuff that looks incomplete. You know, a part to something. You know, there's lots of times. Always. You know, like one time we bought a whole table full of camera equipment from a gentleman that passed away from his wife. And, you know, it's impossible to look up everything on the table, right? Everything on the table. There was probably 200, 300 items. He was a photographer. You know, I gave her $1,000 for it. I looked up the cameras, which I thought would have all the value. And we agreed to a price of $1,000. I gave her the $1,000, and then I started selling the cameras on eBay. You know, and I'm getting 100, 200 bucks out of the cameras. And I come across this one lens that's a fisheye lens, and I put it on eBay, and I get $2,000 for the one lens, but I had no idea what it was, and it wasn't that I worked this lady over. I just didn't know. Sometimes you just don't know, and it's impossible to look up, you know, hundreds of items at one time. So, you know, those are home runs that happen all the time in this business.
Miss Attitude 220 Cook.
I'm really working on opening a bin store here in Tampa, Florida. In Tampa, do I need to get a business license and a reseller's license? Yes, you have to get a business license. You have to get a reseller permit if you want to buy the merchandise tax free. You have to get a reseller permit. Now I live in Tampa, so Miss Attitude 2020 Cook, you will be my competition, but I'm good with that. I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with that. I wish we could work together. I think it's better if we all work together. We all, you know, if you put me out of business, good for you, because that means you're a better operator than I am. And this is business. This is business. So, you know, or if you need any help with inventory, I do supply a couple bin stores with inventory. You can always come to me, but that's not the best place to go, right? The best place to go is to get your own supply of inventory, you know, to find the inventory yourself, bring in the truckloads, make sure you have adequate storage for it.
She said, can we work together?
Yeah, we can work together. Heck yeah, we can work together.
XYA bruh said, how much Disney stuff do you get in? I know normal stores have to throw even if it's scratched or a little damage and they can't be donated.
How much so we get a lot of Disney stuff in here because we're only 40 minutes from Orlando. I love Disney stuff. It's insane what the price of Disney stuff goes for.
Heavy.
Yeah. I mean, yesterday we had somebody bring in like a castle, a ceramic castle with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And the seven dwarfs were literally like that big. I mean, I don't know, less than a half inch, maybe a quarter inch tall. They were tiny. Look it up on eBay, $300 on eBay, right? I mean, you know, so we paid the gentleman, we paid $90 for the item. So remember, when I buy off the public, I triple my money. I pay 30% of what I'm selling it for, what it sells for on eBay. If they want cash. Remember, if they want consignment, they get double the amount, 60%. But if I'm outlaying my money, remember, profit's not a bad word. You have to make your margin in order to make your store work. So I paid this gentleman $90. It goes for $300 on eBay. So I'll put it on $300, our best offer. You know, somebody will offer me $260 or $250, and I'll accept it. There'll be some idiots that offer me $110, and I'll just, you know, I just ignore them. But so profit's not a bad word, and Disney is a great. Remember subject matter. Anything with subject matter. Disney is a great subject matter. Coca-Cola, you know, anything sports, you know, those kind of things sell. There's a collector for everything out there. You know, I always, you know, if you find a shirt with a, you know, with a Coca-Cola emblem or any emblem on it, you know, somebody is going to buy it. FedEx, somebody is going to buy it. There's people that collect everything out there, you know. I don't recommend, you know, the stuff that like hey, stand up, man. You look like a slouch.
Oops.
I don't recommend the stuff that your grandmother collected is not collectible anymore. Keep that in mind, okay? The stuff your grandmother collected is not collectible anymore. All right? You got that? So ceramic dolls, you know, Hummels, you know, NASCAR, not that grandma collected, but grandpa probably did. Those things are going way down in value because, you know, people that are in their 60s and 70s who collected all that stuff, right? They're dying off. All right. So the saturation, you know, is not the demand is not there, you know. So now you got to look at what people in their 50s and 60s are collecting right now. That's what's valuable. That's what's good to resell or 40. So your highest buying power in your life is in your 50s. OK, so if somebody's in their 50s, when did they grow up? They were probably born in the 60s, grew up in the 70s. So what was super cool in the 70s? You know, that's what's collective. That's what you can maximum. That's what you can get the most out of right now. Is stuff from this that was cool in the 70s, and then now 80s is coming up too, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers, you know, Star Wars, all that kind of stuff. Comic books, you know, superhero comic books. You know, I think started mostly. I mean, there's some in the 50s. Superman was in the 50s, but you know, Spider-Man, all the big ones were in the 60s and 70s. Super collectible, super great stuff to sell, But I want to answer this other question. Is it expensive to start? It's not expensive. I guess it's perspective. Like, how much money do you have? You know, if you're a millionaire, it's not expensive. If you got no money, yes, it's expensive. So probably, you know, a truckload. I just bought a small truckload in Florida. It cost me $15,000, which was one of the cheapest prices. I think inventory is opening up a lot right now. That cost me $15,000. Ended up being like $550 a pallet. You know, and it had some expensive phones in it. We talked about it yesterday. I took the phones out and put it on eBay, and the rest went to my bin store. A lot of food, though. Some people don't like food. There was half the pallet was food. But, you know, some of the food, a lot of the food was like dog food and cat food and coffee. So it was stuff that's really sellable, really easy to sell. You know, so you're going to have to buy a $15,000 load. That should probably last you 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, depending on the size of your store. You got rent, you got your security deposit, you got your insurance. You know, you got to get all your licenses and permits. So, and then you got to build your bins. You know, building your bins, you know, was cheap, but now it's expensive because lumber has gone up. I know it's coming back down, but lumber has gone up a lot. You know, so I would say 15, 20, you know, $30,000, $40,000. If you're smart and you have storage, I would buy 2 truckloads to get way far ahead of your inventory, so you're not having to deal with inventory issues. But I love bin stores. I mean, I love bin stores. They're so easy to run. 3 or 4 employees. You know, that you just dump the stuff in the bins and you go, and people buy it. People line up out the door to go to. You can put them any location. Make sure your rent's cheap enough. Any location will work. I just love them. What do we got, Kara?
Kara's question.
I started in collectibles, but I moved mostly to Amazon, replenishables, and books. I still work a day job, 50 to 60 hours a week. I want to get rid of the collectibles, approximately 200,000 pieces. Any advice? Wow, that's a lot of pieces, 200,000 pieces. Kara, man, that's a lot of, I don't even know how, I mean, that's got to be a lot of space there, Kara. It's got to be a truckload. Yeah, I would think that depending on what they are, that you could get either a bin store person to buy them, or you could, you know, any liquidator would buy them. I guess I would need more details on that, but you know, I would put it in that truckload liquidators group, the 20,000 person group on Facebook. You put it in there, I'm sure you could probably get some buyers. Make sure you take a lot of pictures, you know, be very detailed about it, because you're going to get a million questions. You're going to put in there, you know, 200,000 pieces, and then somebody's going to say, hey, how many pieces are there? You know, there's so many people that repeat what's in the ad, which is kind of funny, but put a detailed listing in there and I'm sure somebody will buy it. There's so many buyers in that group. There's a ton of buyers in that group. So you can put it there.
Miss Cook.
Can we work together, Miss Attitude? Yes, you can. I'm planning on coming up to Resale America to chat with you. Not trying to compete. I'm sure we can have an awesome working relationship. It's always good to have friends in the industry of all kinds. Absolutely, Miss Attitude. Absolutely, 100%. I am all about working with people. I'm all about building relationships, making my job easier, your job easier, everything that you do easier. That's what I want to do. That's my goal. That's my goal with this channel. You know, I tell you stuff that people don't want me to tell you, right? You know how many times I get emails, texts, phone calls about people who are mad at me for giving out this information? It happens all the time. It happens all the time, but I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I want to win, and so I want to be an open book, and that's how I'm going to win. That's my strategy to win in this industry. So yeah, come on down. I'll show you what I have. Once again, I don't recommend buying from me. I recommend you find your own source, your own direct source. That's the way you get it the cheapest. But so my sources are local, and I only sell when I have too much. So I do supply a couple other bin stores when I have too much, but they also find other places to buy stuff, which is fine, which is good for them. Currently, I do have extra pallets, but you know, there's weeks where I haven't had anything for a month. During 19, there was times for a month I didn't have any inventory for myself. So, you know, it's always important to secure your load, to have backup. You know, like I would buy a truckload of smalls and put it away and forget about it. Don't even plan on using it until you have an inventory issue. You know, I mean, there's different strategies that you can do like that.
Kara commented again.
Yes, for store. Yes, 4 storage room, a 4-car garage, and a 1,000 square foot basement full. Yeah, that sounds like a lot, Kara. That's a lot of merchandise. That's kind of the problem in this business, right? It's so easy to buy. I mean, as long as you got the cashola and you seem that you got a full-time job, you're doing your side hustle, it's so easy to buy and it's so hard to sell. I mean, so meaning that, like, I love to buy, but I hate listing on eBay, and that's why I have an eBay department. I hate the listing. I hate the work of the tedious work of listing. So what we do? So we have an eBay department that has 4 people in it here at Resale America. I have a manager, then 3 employees, and they take all the pictures. We have a professional photography studio here. We take the pictures, we send them to the Philippines. We have workers in the Philippines that do the eBay listing. They upload them to a program called InkFrog, and then from InkFrog, we upload them to eBay. We review the listings, and we upload them to eBay. That saves us some money, you know, because we're not doing all the computer work here. That, you know, we can pay somebody a little bit less over in the Philippines, and it's been a great strategy for us. Because the eBay manager, his wife's from the Philippines, so she's hired all the employees in the Philippines, and it works great for us. It works great. Now, this is my eBay department right now because we had to get rid of somebody. My old manager really ran it into the ground, which is my fault, not his fault. I should have been giving him better direction. But the guy Esteban, you might have seen in my videos, he runs Death Pile Destroyers. He'll be in here in some of our lives sometimes. He does a great job, so he's running that department right now. But yeah, that's a lot of space. 4 storage units, a 4-car garage, 1,000 square foot basement full. I mean, that's probably even more than a tractor trailer full, but somebody would definitely want to buy it, you know. Obviously it's the right price, you know, it's a lot of merchandise. So, I mean, I don't know what you're looking to get out of it or what it is, but you know, let's say you want $1 a piece out of it, which I don't know where you're at. That's $200,000. It's going to be hard to find a buyer for that kind of money. Now, if you broke it down and maybe put it in pallets and then maybe put it on B Stock's private side, you could sell it for $1 a piece by the pallet, because now you might have a 700 piece pallet count. Somebody can pay $700 plus shipping for that. Then it makes sense for them. You know, then it's in a lot more people's budget. That's why I like to buy the more expensive truckloads. I'd rather buy the 40, the 20, 30, 40, $50,000 truckloads because there's less buyers for those. And then as a percentage of retail, it goes down a lot. So where are we at? Have you ever thought about having a full house, Friends, the office intro with the whole crew? I would love to. I love my staff. Listen, my staff, we've been through so many people here, and it's the evolution of any business, right? And so we open, it'll be 2 years in October. We opened right before the 19 virus came out. We hired like
26?
October 26th. We hired like 50 people. Then we fired half of them. Hired 25 more, fired half. But now we're to a point where I love everybody here, and we do everything we can to make our employees happy to the best of our ability. There's no complainers. We have a great staff, and we like to bring them. Some of them don't like to be on camera. Some of them do. So we're trying to bring them all on. And yeah, I'd love to be able to introduce them. We do have a video in our YouTube channel that was Hollywood was calling and was thinking about doing a show here, a TV show here, kind of like Pawn Stars. And so we have the trailer in one of our videos. If you look up that trailer, you can see a bunch of our staff in there. But once 19 happened and then all the riots and everything, they decided to go a different direction. So we're still shooting for it, but who knows? Who knows? It's a waiting game. It takes years to get into Hollywood.
Miss Attitude.
That's my plan, to get my own suppliers, but you have a lot of knowledge. I'm interested in learning. And I'll point you in the right direction. I'll point you in the right direction. Who all the big guys in the business, everybody that I know. I mean, there is some there. Obviously. So I have my local guy, which that's something I won't give up, but it would be easy to figure out who it is. But if you went to him, I don't think he would. He won't sell to you. I mean, I don't think he would sell to you. I don't think he sells to anybody else, because when he calls me, I buy everything. He'll say, I got 30 pallets, sold. I got 1 pallet, sold. I got 100 pallets, sold. I don't care what he has. I buy it all. Because the minute that I don't buy it all, somebody else comes in, and now he makes 2 phone calls. And one phone call will be, how much will you give me for this? And the other phone call is, will you give me more for it than this guy? And I don't want him to do that. I want to be the only guy. So no matter what he asks, even if I got to overpay, no matter what he wants, I buy it from him. And he's a good guy. So if I tell him, hey, that's too expensive, one time he sold me like 100 pallets, and it was I think $400, and this is not a very good pallet. I can't do anything with this. This just, so he lowered the price to $200, and now I can do something with it. So he's a very good guy in that sense. So find your local guy. There's a lot of local guys, local people. Find that nonprofit. I have a nonprofit that I deal with. I mean, that's kind of an up and down relationship with this person, but I buy everything that she brings to me, and I do well with that. And I do well, she does well. So these nonprofits are everywhere. I've always recommended somebody to go outside a Amazon fulfillment center and just sit there by the entrance, right, where the trucks come in and out, right, and watch the trucks, because you'll see Amazon, U-Haul. What the hell is a U-Haul doing at an Amazon fulfillment center? That's the nonprofit picking up pallets and boxes and stuff that they're just trying to get rid of. All right. And then you'll see a recycling center come in there. Who's that? What are they getting out of here? Let's follow that truck back to where they go and talk to that owner. Let's follow the nonprofit back. Let's talk to them. Let's try to build relationships within this. Who can we buy from? Sorry about that. So who can we buy from? Find those people. I got lucky. I got super lucky. 6 years ago when I moved to Tampa, I went inside a warehouse and I saw all this new Amazon stuff in the warehouse. And I said, what the hell is this? And I sat down with the owner of the business, and that's my supplier. So for 6 years, I've been buying every piece of merchandise he gets. And that's the relationship you guys need to build.
Olivia Burton.
Oliver Burton. Hey, Tom, would it be possible to hire you privately for consultancy? I mean, I don't know if you want to hire me. I mean, the truth is I'm super busy. I have a lot of different businesses. But I always, my favorite thing to do is to say, listen, you need my advice. It takes 45 minutes for me to drive home, because I live in Tampa. I work in Lakeland. So on that 45-minute drive, I don't mind taking phone calls. My drive to work and home, I don't mind taking phone calls. If I'm not listening to you, I'm listening to a Bitcoin podcast or something. I'm learning, right? I believe in 100% learning. I believe in an 80-20% learning. You know, I learn all the time. So I don't mind talking to you. I would give you my advice for free. I don't need to make any money on that. You know, in the future, will we? I don't even know. No, I don't plan on monetizing my advice in the future. I plan on giving it out for free. But I am looking into like maybe trying to figure out, is there a way to franchise a bin stores? You know, I have people working on that. You know, I love the bin store. Is there a way to supply bin stores, you know, where they can make money? You know, I know there's some people that are breaking down right here in Florida, breaking down truckloads of smalls and putting like just high piece count, cheap stuff in pallets, but selling them cheap, and medium, good, decent stuff in pallets and selling them for a little more, and then expensive stuff and selling for more, and then selling a lot on eBay. So does that model make sense? I don't know. It's got to be beneficial for everybody, you know? So I'm trying to figure out that whole system, you know, and it helps. This channel helps because it's building my relationships with everybody else. So what was his name? Oliver. Oliver, if you want to private message me, I'll send you my phone number, and you can call me sometime on my way home.
Jeffrey B.
For bin stores, what percentage of items in your bin stores do you typically sell on the first 1 or 2 days of the week, the highest price days? So my busiest days, okay, so I have 2 bin stores. One does 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So my $5 day is super busy, and then my $1 day is super busy. And I probably average like, you know, depending on the inventory, like right now I have electronics. So my $5 day, I'm doing about $5,000, and my $1 day, I'm doing about $4,000. So those are the bulk of my sales. In between, I do a little bit, you know, I might do $1,500, $2,000. $2 day does like $2,000. I did a breakdown. I have a video of how much money I make in my bin stores. Watch that video to see. But that's one bin store. My other bin store, I do 20, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, if I was to start over, my next bin store, I think I might do 20, 10, 7, 20, 10, 7, 5, 3, 1. 20, 10, 7, 5, 3, 1. 6 days a week, right? Because like the $4 day doesn't do that well, you know, and I'm trying to figure out the right mix. If you guys think you figured out the right mix, now when I take the nonprofit load, if I can take the nonprofit load, and then I take my electronics loads that I get from Amazon, and then I take the smalls that I normally get, and I mix those 3 together, I can do a $30,000 week in sales. And my cost of goods sold on that $30,000 would be like 2, maybe 2. Let me think. 3, 5, 6. Maybe $8,000 or $9,000 in inventory. So $9,000 in inventory into $30,000. You know, that's great. I do have obviously I have labor, rent, all that kind of stuff. But the mix becomes perfect. Perfect. The nonprofits, the electronics, the smalls, and then I mix in, you know, I buy CVS from Inmar. That mixes in well. What else do we get? What else do we get? But I love that mix. That mix with my 20, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 does really well. And, you know, and sometimes beats I got a 110,000 square foot liquidation store, and my little ass bin store is beating us in sales on some of these days. You know, it is. Why do you think I want to open more bin stores? I just love it.
You got Miss Attitude said that's cool.
Jeff,
one of her question.
Okay, yeah.
And then 5
by 5 news coming by today, guys. See you soon. All right, 5 by 5. Buy these pallets. He does not cherry pick. I swear to God, I got a $3,500 Milwaukee toll in one of them. Nice. Yeah.
He meant tool.
Oh, tool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I know 5 by 5. Yeah, that was like a Jaws of Life from Milwaukee. He found in the bottom of them. I swear. Listen, if I pick a pallet, I'm telling you. If I know what's in a pallet, I'm telling you. If I tell you we didn't touch it, you have my word. Now, obviously, we see the top. We see what's on the top, but we don't have any idea what's underneath that. We don't pick our pallets that we sell. We sell a bunch of different. We sell mystery boxes, which is unopened coffin boxes for $400 a pallet. Right now, we don't have any. That comes from my nonprofit. I'm still waiting to get some more. We sell the smalls when we have too many, the 6-foot smalls. We get Home Depot turbos. We mix in the turbo smalls, some tools, some mediums. We mix them into our bin stores. We sell those. So yeah, we don't pick our pallets. People will say we do because there's haters everywhere out there. But if we tell you we didn't touch it, we didn't touch it.
He says make it scalable and deliver.
Oliver, also, do you
Burton.
still run the store in New York? If so, how far is it from Linden? Oliver, I don't know where Linden is, but I'm should be Canadian. That's what I should be, because I'm 20 miles from the Canadian border, the Thousand Islands Bridge. If you go to Syracuse, it's an hour straight north, hour and 10 minutes straight north. It's Watertown, New York. So what happened was 6 years ago when I left, I sold it to my brother. My brother is a military flooring contractor, and he decided he didn't want to run it anymore, and he sold it to his manager. So she runs it now, but I don't really know. I don't think
It's
they
not really
do
a
it.
bin store. It's like this, but
Yeah, it's more like
kinda
it's a
downgraded.
liquidation store, but it's it's different up there, man. It's different. Like upstate New York is decimated. It's not good. All the factories have closed down. The richest people in town are like two teachers that married each other, right? Those are rich people in upstate New York. Getting near the big cities, obviously you're going to have wealthier people, but where I'm from, there's nothing. So I didn't really have the clientele. I didn't really have the business people. I couldn't sell expensive stuff there. But then you go to Florida, right? I moved to Florida, and like, boom, inventory opens up. Buyers open up. You can sell anything in Florida, and there's so much inventory down here. I mean, with all due respect, with everybody who's old retires in Florida, so you can buy a lot of estates out. There's so many hustlers out there that you can buy merchandise from them. There's so many stores going in and out of business. You can buy merchandise from them. Florida is great, and there's so many people down here with money. I mean, not so much Lakeland. South Lakeland, I guess, has a lot of money. Tampa, there's a lot of places in Tampa that have a lot of money. Man, but you go to like Sarasota, you drive around a town like Sarasota, and I'm like, damn, like I didn't know there were so many, Mercedes-Benz in this world, right? Every other car is a Mercedes down there. There's so much money down there. I don't really go on the East Coast, like the West Palm Beach. I couldn't imagine what it looks like in West Palm, or, I've been to South Beach a few times, and I went to a restaurant, I think Prime Steak in South Beach, and there's 6 Lamborghinis pulled up out front. I mean, holy.
The Koenigsegg we saw one time.
The Koenigsegg, I don't even know what that is, but he knows more about cars than I do. But yeah, there's just so much money down here in Florida. It was the greatest transition. My wife's job transferred her down here, and I said, let's go. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me as far as wealth building. So if you're in this area, if you're in a wealthy area, man, stop making excuses and find the inventory, find the money.
Oliver said Linden, New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey, yeah. So you're probably down by the city. So we are 6 hours from New York City. So you got to go to Albany. You're 3 hours from Albany, and then 3 hours from New York City. You got to go to Syracuse, go north on 81, and we're 20 miles from Canada. So.
And then 5x5 News said nope. XYA.
Yep, love you guys. 5x5 News. He's a great customer of ours. We love, he spends money here. We love him. I'm glad that he makes money. I'm glad he has to make money off my bins, or he won't come back and buy again. And that's what's upsetting when somebody buys one pallet and then they don't find much in it. Maybe they break even, so they lose interest. But and I don't want them to fall out of the game like that, because there is money to be made. You just have to constantly do it, constantly work it. And another thing, people that want to buy bins, if you're not resourceful and if you're not a good salesperson, if you're not willing to use all platforms, don't do it. I get people that say, oh, I'm just going to have a yard sale. I mean, like, don't do it. I'm just going to sell on eBay. Don't do it. I'm just, if you say don't do it. You need to do it all. You need to have eBay and Amazon for your high-end items, right? Your medium, bigger items, maybe Facebook Marketplace, and your lower-end crap that you just need to get rid of. Set up a $1, $2, and $3 table at a flea market and just blow it out. Blow out the inventory. As long as you're in profit, blow it out, and then you can move on to your next pallet. Because all you want to do is make a little money, survive with the money, right? Survive, and then what do you want? What's that mean?
Golf.
Home run.
No.
Home run.
Oh.
That means home run. Then you're going to find the home run, but you got to put in the time and the effort. You got to put the time and the effort in order to get to those home runs. If you don't put the effort in, it's not going to work. Not going to work. Not going to work. So put in the time and effort.
XYA said, Tom said that Toby has a car at 14. You're telling me he drives now?
No, he doesn't drive. So in Florida, you can drive at what? 15.
You can drive at 15. License
15.
at 16.
Yeah, so I'm fortunate that I buy my kids their first car. So but what I do is is I buy it, you know, a year and a half from now, he can start driving. So I bought it, and I'm going to try to pay it off in that year and a half, and then he's going to get the car whenever he has his license. And then I haven't bought my dream car yet, so I still, you know, I'm hopefully after this one I get to buy my dream car. Although I got one more kid, but he's only 10, so I have a gap in whenever I got to buy him a car. So we'll see how that works out.
Alex said, how to find Amazon nonprofit, eBay, and don't know that word.
Alibaba fulfillment. So Alibaba, I don't know what Alibaba fulfillment is. I know what Alibaba is. I've bought off Alibaba. I do a lot of research on Alibaba because I see somebody, you know, selling something. Let's say this. Somebody comes in and says, "I want to sell you this for $100 a piece," and then I go to Alibaba and I see it's for sale for $8. You know, I exactly know what their cost of goods sold is, even though they put their own label on it. It's available on Alibaba, so you can kind of beat back a lot of the bullshit if you do a little bit of research on products that people are trying to sell you. You know, like I said, what was he? What did he say? No. What was his question? That last question. The Alibaba one.
Oh, how do you find nonprofit?
Amazon nonprofits. Like I said earlier, if you weren't here, Alexandru, you know, go to an Amazon fulfillment center, but you got to make sure you're at the right one because they have smalls, mediums, and large fulfillment centers. Go to one of them and sit in the parking lot across the street. Just wait. Just wait for hours until you see the trucks coming in and out. The minute you see a non-tractor trailer, something that's not normal for trucking, that's the truck you want to find. That's the truck you want to talk to. Now you got to be, you know, you want to find the nonprofits who are probably renting a U-Haul. You want to find the recyclers who are probably going to have branded trucks,
Is that what you
right?
did? Is that across the parking lot?
I didn't do it, but I found, my nonprofit I found on, I found through another buyer. But there's other ones that I find on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. A lot of them sell. So look, go on Facebook Marketplace, search in the search bar, just type in Amazon and see what pops up. And you're going to see somebody selling coffin boxes, but they got to sell them at the right price. You know, if they don't sell them at the right price, it's not worth it. We have a lady. So I buy the truckloads from my nonprofit, and then I sell the pallets for 6 boxes for $400. There's a lady on the other side of town that sells 4 boxes for $400. So every sucker comes in and buys those pallets, and you know, I'm sorry, I sell 8 boxes for $400. She sells 4 for $400. So mine are half the price, and they're the same thing. Well, they're the same thing, meaning like we don't know what's in it. She doesn't know what's in it. So, you know, suckers are buying stuff from her and getting burnt. You know, they can come to me and get them for half the price. But, you know, but someday she's going to run out of suckers, right? Someday you're going to run out of people to sell to, and then she's going to have to sell to a guy like me who will buy everything that she gets at the right price, where she makes money and I make money. So look for those nonprofits. They're there. I mean, it's what Good 360 is the company they're getting them from. I don't even know. I think maybe Good 360 has a list on there of all the people that they use. And now they're not supposed to sell them, but they do. They do. So, and they're everywhere. They're everywhere. But I don't know they're not supposed to sell them, but I don't get it. I don't understand what they're supposed to do with it. They're supposed to donate it to somebody else. I mean, I don't know. How are you going to donate coat racks? And, you know, they're going to end up with so much inventory that nobody will want, you know. So I just don't get it. They should be able to sell it, take that money. Okay. And some people are saying, you're not buying it all. I'm not buying these loads off this lady. What I'm doing is giving her a donation for the loads. I mean, you can use whatever semantics you want. I'm giving her money. I'm getting loads. So,
you done?
Yep.
Okay, Jeffrey B.
On average, about what percentage on the items in your bin store just don't sell even after you fill a bag day? How do you end up getting rid of them? So after a fill a bag day, you know, so we do a $20 fill a bag day, then a $10 fill a bag day, and then we pull everything out of the bins. And it's not a lot. I mean, there's just going to be minimum. Matter of fact, we're combining the bins at the end of those weeks. There's not a lot left. I mean, you know, you're constantly pulling garbage out of the bins because people are opening up packages and you got cardboard and everything. So you need almost a full-time person pulling garbage out of your bins, and you end up with a lot of trash. So a ton of trash. So be prepared for that. But we don't end up with much at the end. You know, we palletize and we try to sell the whole pallet for nothing. Whatever we can get out of it, we don't even care. We just want to move on. You know, and that's the thing about this business. You just want to move on. Sometimes you just need to move on to better inventory, different inventory, you know, and find the right mix that works for you.
Oliver Burton.
We have some high value Amazon smalls in New York, around 100 pallets. with a total of $4.5 million.
5
Wow.
million retail.
Wow. Would it be worth sending you the details if we're looking at 11% of retail, including MacBooks? I mean, so if you want 11% of $5 million, that is $550,000. Oliver, I don't know if I have that kind of free cash flow right now. I'd have to sell my Bitcoin.
Oh,
and I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to do that. Yeah, I don't know if that would be. I mean, I'm willing to. I like the 11% is a good percentage. I would, but I have seen these truckloads. The other day there was a truckload offered at 9%. That's the cheapest I've seen these loads offered so far. And I believe that price is going to keep coming down and down. I hear I talked to one big broker. Remember, I talk about big and small brokers. I talked to one big broker who says that there's so many unsold small loads that Amazon has, they need more buyers. And if they're not getting the buyers, what do they got to do? What do they got to do?
I don't know.
Lower the price, right? You got to lower the price until somebody's willing to buy. So I saw a 9% load the other day. I'm imagining they're going to keep getting cheaper because the inventory is just there. The inventory is back, and it's back with a vengeance. So, as long as the government keeps printing money and giving it to us people, and we keep buying stupid things, that inventory is going to be there. There's going to be returns. There's going to be shelf pulls. There's going to be everything. So, but I would look at any deal that you have. If you want to send it to me, that's fine. Private message or send it through the messages. I'll look at that. I don't have that kind of bang to just kick out on one deal, but 100 pallets would be what? 4 truckloads? 4 truckloads. I don't know if you can double stack them and put them into 2 truckloads, but yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Good for you, Oliver. Good for you.
Miguel said, "Hi, I'm from Puerto Rico. How can I get in touch with you? God bless."
Miguel, if you want to private message me, I'll send you my phone number, and you can call me on my way either to work or from work. The best thing, like what most people do is like they text me at about 5 o'clock at night and say, "Hey, what time are you leaving tonight?" And I'll say, "Hey, I coach football with Coach Toby's football team. So sometimes I got to leave at 5. Sometimes I leave. If I'm not coaching, I leave at 7. And so I'll just text you the time that I'm leaving, and then you can give me a 5-minute window, and then I'll talk to you, and I'll have a good half-hour conversation with you and give you every bit of advice that I can. Feel free to do that. So just private message me. I'll give you my number.
Dom said, "Do you get reseller buying pallet?" Okay, you can read it.
Do you get resellers buying pallets from you with vendor certificates requesting me? Yeah. Do you eat the cost of the tax on those come tax? No, I don't eat the cost. So I use a point of sale system called Consign Pro. So any reseller that comes in, I get their sales tax certificate, I photocopy it, I put it into a file, and then in my point of sale system, I mark the pallet as non-taxable, and then whenever I do my month-end reports to pay my taxes, it separates. So when you fill out your tax forms, it's going to say taxable sales, non-taxable sales, and tax amount. So you can separate them legally. It's not illegal to sell something tax-free to a reseller. I mean, because the theory is the reseller is going to sell it, and then their end consumers are going to pay the tax on it. So you're not supposed to have double taxation in the United States. That's why a reseller doesn't have to pay tax. Now, you can make a lot of arguments about where double taxation does exist, but I don't really want to go into that.
Alexandra,
would you recommend good broker for Amazon high-piece counter electronics? What is the right price to get them, please? Amazon. So Excess Limited is the contract, one of the contract holders. If anybody else knows other contract holders, please let me know, and I'll put that out to the group to help everybody save money. Excess Limited is a contract holder. Midtown Liquidators is a big broker. You can use those two groups, those two people. But if you're not a bigger buyer, you don't get a lot of attention. And what is a good cost? An unmanifested load. Most of them are coming manifested right now. The last one I bought was $15,000. Once again, it had a lot of food in it. But I saw some orders, some manifested loads for 9% the other day. You can see the gentleman Oliver just offered one at 11%. Those are good percentages. Those are, my sweet spot is always 10%. If I can get 10% or lower is great. But if I can get a 10% or lower, I can make a lot of money. I can. So it's easy. It's easy to sell something at triple, at 30%, right? So if I'm buying at 10 and I sell it at 30%, I'm 3 times my money. My goal is always to 3 times my money. But if I'm buying at 20%, I have to sell it at 60% of retail in order to triple my money. And that's harder to do. That's a lot harder to do. Now you can sell some stuff at that price, some stuff more than that, a little bit of stuff at 60%, but then there's going to be a ton of stuff you can't, that you might have to blow out for 20, 30, 20%. And that's the ones you're not going to make your margin on. So if you get at 10%, right around the 10% margin, that's where I recommend you buy. Just watch out, because they're going to be like, you look at the manifest, there's going to be a 5-pack of masks, right, that are on there for $50. And you know damn well you can't get $5 for those 5-pack of masks, right? Or there's going to be a cell phone case from some private label company for $60 on there, which you can only sell for $1. So remember, if you're paying 6% and it's a $60 phone case, you're paying $6 for it. All right, if you're paying 10%, but you can only sell it for $1 or $2, right? In a bin store, in a flea market, So watch out for the ones that have thousands of phones, thousands of masks. We got to look at those manifests. Look at those manifests closely. Watch out for that kind of stuff.
We were just slapped Miss Attitude, right?
I wanted to thank you for being so open. I've been following for a while, ever since I learned about the bin stores in Ohio. I'm so excited. Can't wait to talk to you. Sounds good, Miss Attitude. The best advice I can give is just go out there and make it happen. Go make it happen. Stop planning. Stop thinking. Just do it. So many people don't write a business plan, right? Don't write a business plan. Get off your ass and do it. So many people think about it, talk about it, dream about it. I'm just more about action. Let's go do it. Let's build this thing. Let's build it. And there is that book, The One Thing, that one thing, right? Set your goal. Your goal is to own a bin store, all right? What do you have to do to own a bin store? You have to build bins. You have to find truckloads, what can you do today to own a bin store tomorrow? Break it down like that. What can you do right now if you want to open a bin store tomorrow? Well, I can start calling contacts. I can start calling brokers. I can go, get the wood and start building the bins in my garage. I can go look for real estate. Start it now. Get on the journey now. Wealth is a journey. Being rich is a journey. You have to decide what day you're going to start that journey. I started my journey. So I claimed bankruptcy in 2001. In 2004, I opened my first Reseller America. So I'm going to say that was 17 years ago I started my journey. And now I have wealth that I never imagined I would have. Everybody has to decide when that journey starts. He started that journey at 13, and I hope he continues that journey. He has Bitcoin. He owns a bunch of different cryptos, and I forced him to put all his money into cryptos. So I want him to have the huge advantage that I didn't have as a kid. My dad told me it's none of your damn business what things cost. And I love my dad to death, and he did very well in life. But he's always told me it's none of my business about money. So I'm trying to teach him about money early and try to teach him how to build wealth. I want him to be a millionaire by the time he's 30, and I think he can. Where are we at? I like how every time Tom and Toby, he always pats him on the back. Also, I just realized that Tom and Toby are short names with a T. Was that planned, or is it so your other boy named Tim? No, my other boy's named Tyson. That's close. That's close. Okay, so Toby was I have two older daughters, Maria and Melly. So when they were little, so when Toby was born 14 years ago, we asked them what they wanted to name him. So at the time, my daughters liked Toby Keith, right? So they wanted to name him Toby Keith Schultz. We're like, well, we're going to get rid of the Keith, all right? So he's got the same middle name as me. So Toby Joseph Schultz. So he's a good kid.
Hi, guys. Is B stock worth it?
Yeah, I do think B stock's worth it. You kind of got to snipe a bid. The prices have gone up a lot. Because there's a lot more buyers on there. So it's getting a little rougher, but there's a lot more auctions on there. So it's like 1 out of every 10 loads that I buy, I get a good deal on. The other ones are just fair deals. I bought like a $50,000 electronics load. You can see I got a video on from Target. I mean, that ended up being a good load, but I paid 30% of retail. So that's a way above my threshold for what I want to pay. But it was filled with iPads and AirPods and electronics and Beats and stuff like that. So I needed that stuff in my store, so I bought it. But I don't think you're going to be able to beat. You're not going to be able to beat a high piece count manifested load with electronics like who was it? Oliver was. I mean,
Oh, this is from the New Jersey lady.
yeah, like Oliver was recommending at 11%. You can't beat 11%, or you can't beat the load that I saw for 9%. Like I said, as long as it's not filled with cell phone accessories and masks, right? You got to stay away from those things. But if you're smaller, what I like about B stock is you can buy 1 pallet, 3 pallets, smaller lots. You're just paying a higher price, so it's your choice. It's your choice if you want to pay the higher percentage and get a smaller lot, or if you have the ability to buy a truckload. If you can buy a bed to a tractor trailer if you have a place to put it for a couple $1,000s. So you can get a whole truckload, put it onto your bed of the tractor trailer, and then slowly work that off. I'd more recommend doing that than just buying 1 pallet or 2 pallets at a time. Then you really control the inventory. Make sure it's coming direct too. There are some loads that come, go to another warehouse. They break it down, process it. Like if you see the 3-foot Amazon high piece count, I mean, I don't buy those. I don't like those because they come from another vendor. Somebody else has broken them down. Remember, Amazons come 6 foot, 7 foot tall ones. Those are the ones you want. Those are the ones that are untouched so that maybe you can hit a
strike.
Home run. Home run. What's wrong with this kid?
Warren, Calvin, do these brokers have a website that you deal with?
I mean, I believe they all have websites, Excess Limited, but I mean, most of them do Facebook now. Most of them have a Facebook page, and you can direct message them, private message them right there in their Facebook page. So that's probably the best way to get a hold of them. The message is going straight to them. I think it's Ryan McAllister is with Excess, Mike Sims is with Midtown, but they all have employees underneath them that help you out. And like I said, I'm hopefully in Vegas I get to talk to these people, maybe go to dinner with them, to entertain, getting a deal for the people in our group, in our Facebook group, seeing if we can work something out, or at least if they were to post daily in our Facebook group all the loads that are available, right? All the loads that are available. None of these bullcrap brokers that are marking stuff up $6,000. Yeah, you know who you are. That was ridiculous. Go back and look on my Facebook group page. That broker that should be a broker you never should deal with. And I bought from them before. So I don't know if I don't know how much they made off me, but there's some brokers that mark deals up $10,000. I mean, it's just absurd that they take that amount of the profit out of it. I mean, somebody broke it down on our page the other day. They said, if a truckload is $3,000, and then a broker marks it up $3,000, and then shipping's $3,000, you're paying $9,000 for a $3,000 load, right? They're willing to sell that load for $3,000, but because of all the extra costs, and you can't make money on that. So screw the small brokers that are trying to force other people out of this business. A broker should be making $500, maybe $1,000 on a real expensive load. I mean, all you're doing is, hey, Tom, do you want to buy this load? Hey, Charlie, this guy wants to buy it, ship it here. You're making a couple phone calls, taking care of shipping. What's taking care of shipping? I mean, when I need shipping, I call my guy at Freight Quote, and they handle everything for me. I don't have to do anything. They handle everything. They ask me every 5 questions. Boom, I give them all the answers, and they handle everything. So a broker is literally on one load probably spending a half hour, and they can make $6,000. That's just absurd. That's absurd. That'll ruin the industry. Don't buy from those kind of people. Don't buy. Find the people who have the contracts. Find the big brokers that broker hundreds of deals a month because they're not making as much money. All right? That's what you have to do. And no disrespect to the smaller brokers. I get it. You're trying to earn a living. I get it. Good luck. But you can only find so many fools out there before they're all gone. And then you're going to rely upon new participants to the market. And and eventually you'll just be ran out. So either work on a volume strategy or don't be a broker, because you can't. I mean, we can't afford to pay those high brokerage fees.
Dom said, how long would you estimate the bin store model has been around?
Has been around? I mean, I know
Yeah.
some people were doing it pre 19. I heard there was like a guy in Jacksonville doing it, and you know, I don't think much before that. But somebody might say they've been in the bin store business for 6 or 7 years, maybe. But if they were, you guys, you know, you were a thought leader. You've been around for a long time, and you know, you understood where this market was going. And congratulations to you. But you know, before COVID, I only heard about a few of them, but now they're like everywhere, man. Now it's like somebody puts in our group, hey, anybody near Cleveland, Ohio? And then 50 people will say, oh yeah, we're a mile away, we're here, we're there. I mean, a bin store can work every, you know, I don't know, every 20 or 30 miles away from each other. So we can pepper this whole country with bin stores. I mean, I believe Amazon has enough inventory. Somebody's saying that the other day that Amazon's opening brick and mortar stores. And I just kind of question what that's all about.
What do you mean?
Like real stores, like a Walmart.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
You go in, it's like an app you download, you sign in with it. And they have cameras all over, sensors all over the roof. So whatever you take off the shelf, you don't even have to pay. You walk out, it checks it out of your Amazon account.
That's cool. I've seen those
It's a
stores.
grocery store.
I've seen those stores in China. So those are super cool. That's definitely the future. The future is digitization. I talk about that all the time. And, you know, groceries. I mean, think about it. Walmart, right? One person now runs, you know, 16 self-checkout lines versus before it was 16 different people. So efficiencies in the market, you know, should bring prices down. And I love it. I love tech. I love high tech.
It's attitude.
Thank you for your business. Please advise, because I thought I needed to do that. Yes, I love it. I'm going to start it today. All right. Good job, Miss Attitude. Come see me, Miss Attitude. I like anybody with attitude. Tell me how you. What's that? Zebra. Tell me how you promoted your bin stores in the 2000s without social media, and what you would do differently if you would do it again. So I didn't have any bin stores in the 2000s. I started 2004 with Resale America in upstate New York, and it was kind of unique because I was in a military town, and I was the only liquidation resale shop in the whole town. It was 30,000 square feet. I was the only one, and I did super well right off the bat. But once everybody sees you doing well, then everybody gets into the business. So all of a sudden, another one popped up, another one. They're all little ones. And they would eventually go out of business and come to me, and I'd buy everything from them. But, you know, I did really well to start. And then because I did well, I got into all these investments with real estate. I got into a bunch of investments with restaurants. And because I wasn't focused on Resale America in New York, it kind of went downhill. It just did okay. But my restaurants and real estate all did really well. So how would I do the marketing? I did TV. I did TV back then. Waste of time. Radio. Waste of freaking time. Radio. Listen, if you guys are doing TV and radio, stop wasting that money. Stop. All right. How many TV shows do you watch on TV?
I don't watch TV.
You don't watch TV. What do you watch?
YouTube.
YouTube. Stan, what do you watch? You got cable at home? No. What do you watch? You got Netflix? Got Netflix, yeah. Put an ad on Netflix. No, you can't do that. That's right, you can't do that. Hulu, you got Hulu. All right. What do you listen to in your car?
YouTube.
YouTube, right? YouTube, or you got your Apple iTunes going, right?
They don't put ads on.
You're wasting your money doing TV and radio. And if you work in TV and radio, go back to school, because you're going to be out of a job. If you don't realize that, you're loco, man. You're crazy. Go back to school. You're out of a job. It's done. It's done. They need to understand this. You're going to get blockbustered, right? Everybody knows what that means, right? You're going to go out of business. You're going to go out of business. You're going to become one of the best companies in the world one year. Next year, you're out of business. Man, we got to wrap this up. It's been an hour and 16 minutes. Any other questions?
We were just on Zebra, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
Alexandria said, "Is it a good mix in the bin store Target?"
Yeah. A high piece count Target is good if you can find a good deal on that. I do like Target. So I do like Target. I do like CVS. I do like Rite Aid. Health and beauty, makeup. You can get makeup. I buy makeup from Inmar. I get it for like less than $1 a piece. I put them in my bin stores. They like them. The problem is like the caps of the lipstick will come off and make the whole bin messy. And so makeup. Melt. And they melt, yeah. So makeup's a little messy, but they like it. So anything high piece count, that you can buy. I mean, I'm buying health and beauty from Inmar for about 8% of retail. And then, I sell it by the pallet in my store for 10% of retail. But I also mix it in with my bin stores. So when you're buying at 8%, now that's CVS. And we all know that CVS prices are a little higher than, let's say, Walmart, right? Because CVS is a convenience shop. Walmart's a destination location. So the price is a little higher, but I'm buying at 8%, selling for 10%. Easy to make money on that. So, I do recommend those kind of loads. I do think they work.
I said, if you could, would you have a store right next to the Amazon liquidation returns so it cuts out the middleman?
Hell yeah, definitely. I'd go right to the source. The closer you can be to the source, I would be right across the street if I could. I mean, the problem is when you have an Amazon fulfillment center, the real estate becomes very expensive around it, okay? Because everybody wants to be there. So, but yeah, if you can be close to that. I mean, I never understood why car dealerships didn't open up right across the street from the car auction, right? You want to be right next to your source. You pull it out, you're right there. How much less in cost? No shipping. Can you imagine no shipping or very little shipping? They'll probably
road shipping.
Yeah, they'll probably charge you
$3.
No, they'll probably charge you $500 to drive across the road with a tractor trailer. But at least it's better than paying $4,000. So I'd love to be there.
First question that he asked: how do you feel about unmanifest loads?
I like unmanifested loads. Would you recommend new bin store owners stick with manifested loads? No, I like unmanifested loads because I feel like I can get a home run in them. I feel like, when you get a manifest, you know exactly what's in there, and then you just pray that 90% of what's on the manifest is in there and you're happy. But unmanifested, you have no expectation, and typically you can buy them cheaper. And I like the thrill of the hunt. I like to get a metal detector when I'm at the beach. I don't like to swim. I like when I scuba dive. We went to a shipwreck one time, right? Scuba diving, and everybody there's 10 of us. 9 people went to the shipwreck. You know what I did? I went around looking for shit in the bottom of the water, the bottom of the river.
Is that where you found the bottles, right?
The bottles, yeah, St. Lawrence River. Because I'm a scavenger. I love the hunt. So buying unmanifested pallets is the hunt, right? It's the thrill of the hunt. It's going to the thrift store and finding, one person went in and bought this little ring. They thought it was a fake ring. It ended up being whatever the purple stone is, but it ended up being worth like $10 million. I love that hunt. I've found so many deals over the years. It's just the hunt is what keeps me going, and I don't care what I'm doing in life. I like the hunt. I was talking to my wife. My wife's like, "You need to get a new wardrobe today." That's what she said to me, right? But
you have 3 shirts in your closet.
I'm like, I'll go to Dillard's, but I can't pay $60 for a shirt, right? Because I'm used to go to the Salvation Army and paying $3.99. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I like the deals. I like the hunt. What? Goodwill. I like going to Goodwill. I like going to Salvation, and I go to Goodwill to buy me a couple shirts. But I also make a couple $100 while I'm there, right? Because I walk in and I see 100 disc or 200 disc DVD player for $19.99, and I look it up on eBay, and it's $250. Now, why would I pass that up? No, I bring it back here. I give it to my electronics guy to test it, and I give it to Esteban, and he lists on eBay for me. Boom! I have the system down. You need to get your systems down. So I like unmanifested truckload.
XYA said, Tom, we got to see your old TV ads.
My old TV ads. Yeah. We used to have
your Maggie's one?
No. Well, we have Maggie's, my restaurant Maggie's. We have
Not
ads
anymore.
for, but Resell America, I used to do it with my manager, and we'd have a blowfish. And our tagline is even blowfish. So we would say, like, we buy everything, even blowfish. It was just, I feel goofy about it now, but it was just how our tagline went. Now we're just doing like a crazy Eddie, like our prices are insane. That's what we're doing now. But
if you search up, I think it's liquidation motivation, Tom Schultz or something like that, and you scroll down, you can see you of like the front of one of your ads, and see you with like almost no hair.
No hair. If you look up Resell America bloopers, that'll take you back like 2005 when we were doing some TV ads. So I negotiated a TV contract when I was in Watertown where I bought 1,000 ads a month for $1 an ad because you could get on the smaller cable channels for cheap back in the day. Now you can't do it. The reason why you can't do it now is because there's so few advertisers. They need to sell more product, a higher value product to the few advertisers they have, and that's mostly like car dealerships and lawyers and stuff like that. Small guys can't even afford TV anymore, but so I wouldn't recommend anything with TV. But yeah, it was fun back in the day.
Spectrum LLC said, "Hi again. How do you hijack the unmarked cars or follow them to ask questions? Thank you."
I mean, listen, you just follow. What do you want me to say? I mean, or a lot of them. I mean, a U-Haul obviously you won't know where they're from, but a lot of the recyclers that come in there, they're going to have their name right on the side of the car, and just go walk in and ask if you can talk to somebody. But remember, when you go in there, this is what you have to do. All right, don't go in there with $50. Don't go in there with $100, right? Don't go in there with $500. You got to go in there with thousands of dollars, right? Because you need to be you need to release a pain point from these people, okay? When I went in my first time to my guy, there was Amazon stuff everywhere. And I said, I want to buy it all. And we worked out a price. I gave him $5,000 that day for everything that he had. I filled a huge truck full of stuff, right? But he was happy because this stuff was littering his warehouse, littering it. It was everywhere.
You gotta empty it.
And I emptied it, right? And you know what he did the next day?
One more.
Filled it right back up. And I bought that
And you
stuff
came
too.
right back.
Right? So that's what you have to do. Release the pain points. These nonprofits can pick up every day if they want. But so like they might have 10 storage units, right? And they pick up, they fill units. And they're selling to the public 1 box at a time, or 10 boxes, or 2 boxes, right? Right? And then they go next Monday, they can't get a truck because their storage units are full. They can't buy anymore. But if you walk in and say, hey, I'll buy it all, they empty the storage units, you buy it all, and then they can fill them right back up again. You got to release their pain points. But go in with big bucks. Don't go in with little money. If you go in and spending $300, they don't give a shit, right? Because there's 20 other people, 50 other people, 100 other people that'll come in with $300 and spend a few $100 with them. It's not worth their time. Huh?
That'll empty out quite a bit of space, though.
Yeah, but you need to spend thousands, and then you get their attention, and then they take your phone calls, right? You want them to, when you call them, you want them to pick up. If I find if somebody buys, 1 pallet a month off me and they want the $200 pallet and they're calling me, I'm not going to, and I'm in a meeting, I'm not going to talk to them. If I'm not in a meeting, I probably will, but I'm not going to talk to them, right? But if you're one of my big buyers and you call me, I don't care what I'm doing, I'm talking to you. You got to be that person. You got to be that big buyer. So take away their pain points.
Josh said you pay 10% retail of the truckload.
Yeah, 10% of the retail. Yeah. Like I said, one order was advertised at 9% the other day. I believe it's still going to keep going down because they can't sell all these loads right now. There's loads piling up, and I can't imagine how big these warehouses are filled with this merchandise. But even here in Florida, I'm sure in other parts of the country, they are building these huge 1 million square foot warehouse complexes everywhere. If you go from Lakeland, Florida,
on that back road?
No, on Route 4. If you go from Lakeland, Florida to Tampa, which is probably 30 miles, there is 3 new 1 million square foot warehouses being built right off the highway.
Wow.
And there's already 2 on the highway. So there's 5 within 30 miles. So 1 for every 6 miles, 1 million square foot warehouse. And the ones that I pass are filled with Amazon. The little delivery vehicles, the Amazon delivery vehicles,
yeah.
They're everywhere, man. This is just going to keep exploding. And I know they're storing these pallets. They got to be storing this excess inventory in these kind of warehouses. And then they're also doing that daily delivery stuff out of these warehouses. So 10%, yeah. If you can get even the 11% that the other guy offered was a good deal. Anything around that level, 10, 11, 9, 8, 7. If you can imagine getting 7, 6, 5. I mean, if they come out with a 5, then you can buy $1 million truckload, right? Then it's really not a problem. What's 5% of $1 million? 10%, so it'd be $50,000. So you can buy $1 million of the merchandise for $50,000. It's a good deal. That's a great deal.
The parking lot filled with the Amazon vans and all that was about the size of the store, and is just the Amazon company.
Yeah, there's so many Amazon vans out there. It's crazy. Okay, so we're gonna cut it off right there. Hey, it's been an hour and a half. I don't know why this flies by so fast, but thank you everybody who watched. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications. We're going to try to do a lot more of these lives to answer questions. We're just trying to build the awareness, build the community, build the bin store, build the liquidation. Remember, I focus on eBay, Amazon, pallets, truckloads, bin stores, liquidation, consignment stores, and building wealth. So everybody needs to get richer. So remember, flip these products, put it into appreciating assets, a little bit of it, just a little bit of it at a time. It's your choice to be rich. I want everybody to be rich. Now, Tom from Resell America, Toby.
Before you end it, I haven't seen XYA Typing while it's just a loading.
All right. Tom and Toby from Liquidation Motivation, Resell America, the world's largest liquidation store. Now go out there and make some money.